thank you and welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices for our final segment. I'd like to say thank you to Avista Products for allowing us to use their facility. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Carl Booker for being an executive producer. And I'd like to thank Ms. Linnell Teller for being our online producer today. And I'd also like to give a special shout out to Mr. Fred Williams, who actually started this show and is no longer a part of the show. He's still with us, but we think about him quite a bit. When we left off, we were talking about um, the ministers. We were talking about the election and how that happened. I want to move a little bit further into uh, some other things that happened, like the killing or assassination of the United Healthcare CEO. I believe, from my standpoint, that that really had an effect on the nation, period, because as it relates to a black issue, we are we have a problem with healthcare. We believe that healthcare should be an inalienable right. However, we've got healthcare organizations in America that are denying us uh, coverage. And this killing, as tragic as it was, brought a spotlight on that.
Sure did.
So, do you have any feelings on that? Either one of you?
Oh, you mean, when I heard about the killing and then saw how these insurance companies, especially United Healthcare in this particular case, would deny services. And even before that killing, was it Blue Cross Blue Shield wanted to
Oh,
put,
yes.
put a time limit as to how long a person was to receive anesthesia while under surgery. Well, we already know that sometimes a surgery doesn't go the way it wants to, but if they're only allowed 2 hours, what happens at 2 hours, 1 minute, and they have to stop the anesthesia? So this brought a whole lot of attention on the money making capabilities of these healthcare organizations. It's not really about saving lives; it's about making money. And you think about how much money these people were. The salaries of these CEOs was also astonishing. I think the one that got killed, I think he was making like $10 million, or had a contract up for 5 years for $10 million. But nonetheless, there still is an unfairness, a wrongness in the healthcare industry that still needs to be corrected.
So let me ask you a question. Can the capitalistic society of America and the profit making of health insurance companies, can they coexist?
Canada doesn't.
Huh?
Canada doesn't.
Oh, I understand that,
The
but
UK does it.
I'm talking about in America. I don't think that it can
No.
exist.
Germany does it. I mean, there's plenty of.
So you're saying in those countries they have profit making
No,
organizations?
what I'm saying is, in those countries, they have their democracies with free market systems, free market economies, but yet still they have universal health care. So the two things can be compatible. You can have universal health care and still
So
maintain
why
a free
doesn't
market
America
economy.
have it?
We got to remember that the healthcare industry has some folks called lobbyists that go up to D.C., live in D.C., have an office probably next door to their favorite senator, where they can say, look, if you vote against this bill, we'll go ahead and give you this much money. So we've got a lobbying situation. We got a severe lobbyist situation that is hindering America from progressing to where, in my mind, it could be, especially in healthcare, because it doesn't make any sense that we don't have universal health care in this country.
And especially when we give, how much money we give to Israel a year?
Billions.
Right. And they got free
Univer-
health care,
And they have
universal
free
health care,
healthcare, right.
and we don't. I think we're the only country that probably doesn't have universal health care. What up with that, America?
Well, they got to get rid of the lobbyists. The lobbyist piece, is one of the factors that needs to be really looked at. But because we got politicians who have been in those seats for a long period of time, and they went in there broke, got elected broke, but they're coming out multi-millionaires.
And then remember, you still have a bunch of Republican governors in red states that are blocking their citizens' access to the Affordable Care Act. So whereas the money's there, the affordable health care is there, they're blocking the exchanges from coming into their states. So we could have more people with more access to health care. And remember, these Republican governors are primarily in the South, where Black population is in the South. So if you want to look at healthcare outcomes and what's hindering Black folks' healthcare, access to healthcare, it's these Republican governors in these southern states that are blocking the exchanges.
I want to move on to an issue. I do want to get to our the deaths that we've had, over this year. But before we do, I want to talk about two individuals, Black individuals, that have been federally indicted. One being Mayor Adams of New York City, and the other one being Sean Puffy Combs. And I think both have had a tremendous effect on not only American society, but when you've got a world city like New York City and their mayor being indicted, and then you have somebody like Sean Puffy Combs, who's got on his list of parties all of these people that everybody's running for cover, hoping that they're not mentioned in his list of people who have been to his freak party. So I'd like to talk about that a second. Anybody have a comment?
Well, I don't know. Adams is one thing, but Puffy, P. Diddy, whoa, that really, that case really took it to a whole new level. I think that if Epstein was still alive, we might have seen some similarities, but they took care of him. But for whatever reason, Puppy is alive for a reason. Puppy's alive for a reason, and he can't even he can keep asking for bail, but they're not going to let him out on bail. But to me, he is alive for a reason, and I'm not going to say what my thoughts are on that. But Epstein was easy to get rid of, but Puffy, for some reason, I thought that he would have crossed over and seen his maker by now, but for whatever reason, he's still alive.
Well, let me say this, because I do want to get to the lives that we lost. But I believe that both Mayor Adams as well as Sean Puffy Combs will both get off. Trump has already said that I think he was going to take care of that. But as it relates to Sean Puffy Combs, Trump is a pay-for-play type of president. And I think if Sean Puffy Combs and his lawyers were offered $50 million just to be able to have bail, I think Trump will say, well, I'll take your $50 million and I'll get you out because it's a federal charge and he has jurisdiction over that. And I think he can do that. So we'll close that segment on that. What I'd like to go with right now is to talk about some of the, I'm going to read a list of people that we've lost over the year. And, I just want people to think about that. It's going to run us a little over, but I think it's going to be okay. Quincy Jones, James Earl Jones, Clarence Avon, Nikki Giovanni, Judith James of Alvin Ailey Dancers, Tika Nelson, Prince's sister, Sissy Houston, John Amos, Tito Jackson, Frankie Beverly, Joanna Sharif Bay Dawkins, Sheila Jackson Lee, Willie Mays, O.J. Simpson, Louis Gossett Jr., Carl Weathers, Dexter King, and those are the names that I have. I think that's a very, very stellar list of individuals that we've lost.
Did you say Nikki Giovanni?
I did say Nikki
Okay.
Giovanni. I did say Nikki Giovanni. So as we close, Mr. Caleb, do you have any final comments?
It's been a heck of a year. It's been a heck of a year. So, 2025. So there's going into 2025. There's a lot of apprehension and a lot of uncertainty. We don't know how things are going to play out with this new incoming administration. We're in a world that is very unstable and uncertain right now. But I guess my final message is we've been through worse.
Okay.
We've been through worse. So, folks.
Sharon?
2025 is going to be interesting. 2024 was definitely an eye-opener, but 2025 is going to start out interesting in that the Republicans may be getting rid of Mike Johnson on January the 3rd, and that may cause a delay in getting Trump and have it certified.
January 6th.
January 6th, and then there's a lot of stuff going on online about Trump being disqualified. So it's going to be interesting to see how our girl is going to handle January 6th.
All right. I'd just like to say it's been a joy to work with each of you during this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make just a toast to good riddance of 2024.
Amen.
And to be able to say, hopefully, there are new and better things to come for 2025. This is Contemporary Black Voices signing off, telling our story our way.